welcome to Right On Christmas Special 2023.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Nativity, Elizabeth Hannon. The choir rustled pages as they flicked through their hymn books for the Adeste Fideles. The organist was rehearsing. They were preparing for the Christmas Triduum of Masses. One beautiful but quite elderly lady danced down from the organ loft to the traditional Christmas crib erected at the side of the altar. It looked the same. The Star of Bethlehem at the peak of the thatched stable roof slightly askew, the shepherds and animals, Joseph and Mary, and baby Jesus. It was so long ago, but the memories fluttered back. Carmel was getting fidgety. "Sit still," hissed Mum. The 7 o'clock Mass on the Christmas morning in the cladded church seemed to go on forever. She had made her first communion this year, so she was fasting. Starving, more like. Mum and Dad insisted that they attend Mass first, then breakfast, then the opening of Santa and Christmas presents. The family tradition, they said. Her 2 younger brothers were misbehaving, but only she got scolded by Granny, who lived with them since she moved from Clonch Island. It was not fair. The boys could do nothing wrong, but as the eldest, she was expected to set an example for the others. At last they all knelt for the final blessing, and the choir and congregation were merrily singing, "Joy to the World." "Let's go up see the crib and say happy birthday to baby Jesus," said Mum as she took Seamus and Joe's hands. Dad helped Granny up the aisle. They all waited behind the crowd that had gathered to admire the crib. Carmel saw a small gap and called under one man's legs to get to the railing. The teacher had told them all about Mary and Joseph, no room at the inn, the shepherds, the terrible bad King Herod, the angels, everything. The shining star gleamed on faces both in the crib and those gazing in awe at the scene. The fearsome-looking ox was lying still beside the shepherd, holding a tiny woolly white lamb. The manger bed the baby lay in looked hard and cold to Carmel. The straw was scratchy and he had no blanket. But the baby's big eyes looked straight at her and seemed to smile sadly. No one else seemed to notice that the baby was cold, really cold, not even Mary, his mother. Carmel shivered. Dad tapped her on the shoulder and pointed to the door. Mum and Granny were talking to some of the women sitting at the back left-hand side of the church, wearing the traditional Claddagh shawls. They all agreed the young Dominican priest who gave the sermon was lovely. "Wish I knew as little about life as him, God bless him," said Granny. "But yes, he's lovely all the same." The family all moved towards the car, stopping, greeting neighbours and returned friends not seen for some time. Carmel hung back. She turned and ran quickly to the front of the now almost empty church. Opening her new red coat that she got for Christmas, she quickly tucked baby Jesus inside. He was heavy, much heavier than any of her dolls. Creeping past the statue of St. Martin, who seemed to look at her strangely, Carmel whispered, "It's okay. I'll take good care of baby Jesus, I promise." Settling herself into the car's back seat, she tucked baby Jesus under her feet. While when the others arrived, Granny sat in the front passenger seat. Mum and the boys squeezed in beside Carmel in the back. "Joe, mind, Carmel's taking all the space. I'm too squished." Mum took him on her knee and promised breakfast and sausages would be ready and waiting for them, and then it would be time to open the presents. In the rush to get into breakfast, no one noticed Carmel slipping into the sitting room. Baby Jesus would be warm and snug behind the sofa with cushions and her coat wrapped around him. Maybe he'd like some toast. Santa was brilliant that year. Seamus got a train set, Joe a toy circus, and Carmel a beautiful doll and pram with pillow and blanket, everything. Her socks hung from the mantelpiece, had a mandarin orange and a pack of animal playing cards. It was not till all the presents were opened and admired that Mum, picking up the discarded packaging, noticed the breadcrumbs and the red coat on the floor. Ready to scold, she stooped to pick it up and discovered what was under it. "Oh my God, what'll we do? She has stolen the baby Jesus." "Carmen, what have you done? What in heaven's name were you thinking of?" "He was really cold. I only wanted to be kind to him. It's his birthday." Dad's face was really a picture. He was shocked and amazed, half smiling, slightly proud, trying to be stern, needing to support his wife. Come, Carmel, we must make it back before the prior discovers it's missing, or you will be in serious trouble." I know you meant well, but he must go back where he belongs. You can put one of your doll's blankets around him." Back at the church, the prior was at the door to the sacristy, looking towards the crib, scratching his head. Still watching, he said nothing as a little girl, snuffling through tears, carried the infant Jesus statue to the central aisle. She solemnly placed it back in the manger, kissed it, and arranged a pink blanket about it. Her dad bent down and gave her a hug. "Come, there's a big girl. Let's go home. It's nearly time to carve the turkey." Winking at the prior with a big grin on his face, he said, "All's well that ends well. Merry Christmas."
Well done, Elizabeth.
Yes, very nice.
That was lovely, Elizabeth. Yeah.
Very sweet, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I really and truly enjoyed that. Really lovely.
Actually true.
Lovely.
Every word of it.
Yes, were you the girl who stole the baby Jesus?
No, Carmel, who, as some of you will have met her before.
Yes, we know Conor. Yeah.
And she's in the choir at the moment in the Claddagh, and came down the last day they had rehearsal for Christmas, and there was this ancient priest down on a walker, and when she got beside him, she was talking to him, and it turned out he was the prior there at the time the thing was stolen. And unbelievable that it would have happened.
Yeah.
And one other young boy stole the baby Jesus in the years that he had been there.
It's really, really lovely, really lovely.
There you go. Most appropriate for the time of year.
It's that time of year again, and the streets are full of lights. Another winter night begins, one of December's silent nights. For me it's time to sit back and remember all my friends, remember all they've done for me throughout this year, and write these lines for them. They're never far out of reach, though we don't meet every day. They stand by me, lend me their hand, companions on my way. They help me chase away my fears when I have to start all over again. We give and we take, and I won't forget what friends I have in them. A candle in my window will be burning all night long for all you dear ones that I know, to shine into your home. And maybe as I think of you, you might as well think of me. So tonight let's share our candlelight and a song and a dream. It's that time of year again, and the streets are full of lights. Oh, how I love these winter winds, wishing you all were by my side. Maybe you too stay up tonight, thinking of what this year's brought. And maybe somewhere in the night we'll meet on crossroads of our thoughts. A candle in my window will be burning all night long for all you dear ones that I know, to shine into your home. And maybe as I think of you, you might as well think of me. So tonight let's share our candlelight and this song. You help me chase away my fears when I have to start all over again. We give and we take, so we shouldn't forget. We've got friends. A candle in my window will be burning all night long for all you dear ones that I know, to shine into your home. And maybe as I think of you, you might as well think of me. So tonight let's share our candlelight and this song and a dream. And a dream.
Beautiful, as usual.
Very good. You have a great gift for writing a song, I have to say. And hopefully we'll have a surprise before the evening is out as well. Very good, very good.
Brad.
Well done, Anne.
I used to have nightmares about sorting them letters.
I see you only handled nice ones.
Okay, and that served as a comic introduction to a more serious topic, and this is Anne Murray's original story for this Christmas, and it's called After Christmas.
After Christmas by Anne Murray. It's the last day of the Christmas holidays. We must take down the tree and decorations today, says Mammy. You can help me after the little ones are gone to bed, she whispers to Mary. They gather all the ornaments and baubles from the tree and put them back in their boxes. The crib has its own box, and all the figures of Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus have to be wrapped separately and put in another box. I think you were happy with all your Christmas presents. Do you like the different sparkling nail varnishes and the makeup mirror? You know you can't wear any of those going to school, strictly for weekends, says Mammy. I'm sorry if I spoiled things a bit for you about the Santa business. I really thought you knew. Don't worry about it, Mammy. I had to find out sometime. The next big event now, Mary, is your confirmation. Once the New Year sales are over, we'll start to look for an outfit for you. I'm sure the date will be arranged as soon as the school holidays are over. Are you looking forward to the big day? Mary shrugs her shoulders. You seem a bit disinterested. That's because I'm not interested, Mary replies. I'm not going to make my confirmation. But of course you are. You're in 6th class now. This is your last year in national school. Imagine you'll be going to secondary school after the summer holidays. I'm not making confirmation. What do you mean? Has someone said something to you? Are you in trouble with the teacher? Did the bishop say something? Nobody said anything. I'm not doing it, that's all. You're tired. We'll finish taking down the decorations. I'll get Daddy to put them in the attic tomorrow, says Mammy, trying to change the subject. After Mary had gone to bed, Mammy rang Granny for advice. Teenage tantrums, says Granny. But she's only 11, barely a teenager. What is she going to be like in a year or two? I'll call over during the week and have a chat with her, consoles Granny. Don't worry, I'll get to the bottom of this. As promised, Granny calls over on Saturday morning. I need a bit of help with my shopping, says Granny. Wonder would you be free, Mary, to give me a hand? We could go to McDonald's for lunch after. The two go off to Dunn's and Mary helps Granny fill the boot of her car with shopping. Sitting in McDonald's eating their lunch, they get chatting. How did Christmas go? Did you get everything you wanted from Santa? I suppose Emma and Tom were awake early to check their presents. There's no need for that now, Granny. Mammy told me the whole story about Santa. She thought I was only pretending, but I really, really, really believed. I'll never in my life get caught like that again. Well, Christmas is baby Jesus' birthday, and parents like to get presents for their children to celebrate his birthday. It's just a little white lie to make it more exciting for the children, Granny replies, trying to comfort her. Sure, you're all grown up now. You'll be going to secondary school next September. First, of course, there's your confirmation. Will you let me buy your shoes for that? We'll go shopping together, and you can pick them out yourself. There's no need. I am not making confirmation. Why do you say that? Of course you're making confirmation. No, I'm not. This God thing is just another made-up story, just like Santa Claus.
That's very good.
I forgot to put the government health warning on that one. Sorry. I hope we're all right.
You shouldn't have played it until after the cut-off. Was that 9 o'clock, the cut-off time?
Oh, right.
The watershed, isn't that right? The watershed moment.
Oh,
She's a
Anne, I
clever
want to
girl.
know.
She wasn't going to fall for that one again, Anne.
Oh,
Oh,
she
she
was
was not. No.
I want to.
nearly didn't make my confirmation because I refused point blank to take the pledge.
All right.
I was 10 years of
Yes,
age.
Guinness. Look
10,
up.
10.
Guinness is
And I
good
said
for
to
you.
the Lord, no. I said, you're asking me to make a solemn promise to God. And I don't know if I want to keep that or not. So no, I will not do it. So my parents were sent for. I was told I couldn't make it if I didn't take the pledge. So what I did, what every other child would do, crossed my fingers behind my back. Negated it.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know. Did Granny ultimately succeed, Anne?
Well, I don't know, because it's just was my sister married, that I had only that one sister alive. She died in June. And it was only about 2 years ago, she said to me, do you know, when I heard about Santa Claus, she said, I can remember thinking to myself, this God thing is just another thing like Santa Claus. I suppose because she died, it just dawned on me there.
Dawned in your
She had
head,
said
yeah.
that.
It's lovely.
A lovely way to remember, Anne.
It's lovely.
I saw James Conway doing the business there.
Nice myself.
That's James Conway on the back left.
That was James Conway, I tell you.
That's brilliant.
I didn't recognise him.
Okay, again,
Richard was no mean athlete either.
Richard was pretty good there, yeah, he was.
okay, right. We're on now to the second set of three. For those of you who missed the start, we introduced. You'll know what's coming up now. Okay, and first on that list, all the way from Australia, is Joyce Butcher, and she has the story for Christmas. Ho, ho, bloody ho.
Okay. Ho, ho, bloody ho. Christmas 1988 was supposed to have been the perfect day. Val and Will were new parents of one child, 18 months old. Val was pregnant with their second, due in May. Their little darling was a very precocious, active child, excited by the Christmas tree, the lights and decorations. As Val wandered out into the living room, the lights on the tree twinkled. It was early morning. The view from the large windows was of snow-capped mountains that ringed the desert valley in which Palm Springs sits. Despite the mountain snow, down in the desert it was going to be another warm day. Val made a cup of coffee and some toast and headed back to the bedroom to mind the little one. Her dearest husband, who insisted on keeping their ball of excitement in the bedroom with Val until he'd set the scene, went out to the living room to put the finishing touches on what he'd hoped would be a storybook Christmas morning. Val had already placed the presents around the tree well before their daughter was awake. She and Val waited in the bedroom as Val tried to keep her occupied with a bit of toast and her favourite toys. Much to Val's surprise, the wait was far longer than she'd expected, and there were worrying noises coming from the living room. A thump, a few errant expletives, and finally the high-pitched whine of the smoke alarm. Val opened the door and yelled out, "What on earth are you doing? Are you okay?" "I'm just, well, damn, I can't get the smoke to stop," his lordship yelled back. "Do you want me to help?" "No, I'll get it. Just wait," he said. The smoke alarm continued, which was very distressing for Miss 18 months old. The smoke had made its way back to the bedroom, and she was crying. Val opened the windows and did her best to comfort her. It didn't help. He who tried his best finally admitted defeat and came back to the bedroom looking frantic, saying, "I don't know what to do." Handing him their little bundle of screaming distress, Val went out to the source of the smoke. She yelled back, "Did you forget to open the flue? We haven't used the fireplace in a year or so." He didn't have to answer. It was obvious he'd forgotten. Val used the fire poker to reach up and open it, which allowed the smoke to flow up the chimney. With the doors and windows open, it still took quite a few minutes for the smoke alarm to stop. Father and daughter were in the living room by now. Little Miss I Love Christmas once again besotted with the tree, the lights and decorations, then spying the wrapped presents. She quickly forgot about the smoke and the noise. It was all systems go. Val took charge of the little present seeker as her beloved showed up the big surprise for his family. He'd bought a video camera so he could record the magic of Christmas for all time. This was the first Christmas their daughter could really participate in the festivities. He thought one day she would love seeing this video window into her own past. Somehow, they got through that very stressful and eventually very sweet morning. The major efforts both parents had made paid off, even if little Miss would never remember them. Recently, Val gathered several old videos and had them transferred onto DVD format. That particular Christmas video was rather short, but brought back so many memories. It went something like this. Husband, from behind the video camera. Stand over by the tree so I can see her reaction to it all. Wife, through gritted teeth. Like this? Annoyed look on her face as she stands beside the tree while little Miss reaches out for the decorations and the lights. Husband, wave to me. Come on, little one, wave. Wife, staring at the camera, looking as if her head is ready to explode. Little one, hi, Daddy. At least someone is happy, blowing kisses to her daddy. Husband, let's let her open some presents. Pick that big one over there. Wife, okay. Flat voice, fake smile. Little one, I want to open it, I want to open it. Rustling, ripping, unwrapping. Oh, look, toys! Exclamations of delight on seeing the toy kitchen. Husband, wait, I didn't get all of that. Can you put the paper back on it? Wife, what? Are you crazy? Silence, followed by more paper rustling as more boxes and bags are ripped into, then fading to black. Val could clearly recall the seething annoyance she'd felt at the smoke, the waiting, being stage managed. Not that it mattered, as the little one loved it, the dramas long forgotten. Soon all that was left was the happiness, presents, and a pile of paper and ribbons. A delighted child and her parents shared a salvage morning, which the parents laughed about later. Unfortunately, none of that made it onto the video because the camera battery wasn't fully charged and cut out after that first couple of presents.
Very well read, Mary Rose. Thank you.
Very good.
I couldn't help laughing as I went through it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very typical scene, isn't it? It's really brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great intentions.
Yeah.
Great intentions.
How we take videos for granted now. We just hold up our phone and nothing
Yeah.
has to be stage managed. We just take them as they go along.
I could so imagine her face when he said, could you wrap it up again so she could...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, bloody, very appropriate. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 7 mice to play with, 6 cats a leaving 5 golden fish, 4 litter boxes, 3 balls of yarn, 2 shredded clothes, and a kitten in a Christmas tree.
There's a few familiar faces there, all right, but I happen to notice my own was cringeworthy.
And McManus was in that one.
Anne McManus was there. Okay, now we're coming to one of the poems from James Conway, and it's called In a Picture.
In a Picture by James Conway. That Christmas Russ in a picture, the frame silvered in a winter sun. The bodies are fading on crumpled paper, the faces like little orbits nearing the coldness of the moon. That day before closing, their year coming to an end, all dressed up for church and crackers, all fired up to live forever, to live for fun. The men were back from England, the Queen's head on their pockets of notes. And on the floors, spewed with freshly smelt sawdust, where feet tap into a whirling tandem, There's life still in that picture. Her violet hat courts a velvet ribbon, an ancient pen smiles, gold in the scuts of winter sun. She's standing in an awe where happiness is hypnotic. That day, dancing with frost crunching into secrets, silvered in a winter sun.
Okay, although we're not canvassing for comments as such, but I think we'll play the poem twice so that it gives people
In a picture by
gives people a chance to absorb it again.
In a Picture by James Conway. That Christmas Russ in a picture, the frame silvered in a winter sun. The bodies are fading on crumpled paper, the faces like little orbits nearing the coldness of the moon. That day before closing, their year coming to an end, all dressed up for church and crackers, all fired up to live forever, to live for fun. The men were back from England, the Queen's head on their pockets of notes. And on the floors, spewed with freshly smelt sawdust, where feet tap into a whirling tandem, there's life still in that picture. Her violet hat courts a velvet ribbon, an ancient pen smiles, gold in the scuts of winter sun. She's standing in an awe where happiness is hypnotic. That day, dancing with frost crunching into secrets, silvered in a winter sun.
It's really, really beautiful. Yeah.
Very poetic. Lovely.
Yeah. Really, really lovely. And the pictures
Really
are
lovely.
Yeah, the pictures are
I've just one question for
The
James.
images.
James, I just wondered, what did you think of the images? Because I know you're not a fan of putting images with poetry in the first place. But did we get halfway close to the truth?
Oh, quite near, Frank, quite near. I was looking for the sawdust, but maybe I missed it somewhere.
It was there.
Oh, no, you're
I thought I saw
picky.
sawdust.
We did a bit of sweeping up.
I actually looked for it too, James.
Yeah, it's
I thought I saw it on the dance floor.
No,
Yeah,
there
just there.
was no sawdust. I was looking for the Lux Flakes. Remember, you'd put Lux Flakes.
I have a new computer and I can smell it. So they're okay.
That's just really, really, really beautiful, James.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Fabulous poem and fabulous images, I thought.
Thank you.
Tonight we pay tribute to Nollaig O'Donnell, who always has a smile on her face. And here she is with the Right On group way back at the launch of our anthology 2019. There's Niall Dempsey and Mary Rose and Geraldine Warren and Elizabeth and Niamh and James Harold in the background, all holding up the freshly minted anthology 2019. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nollaig. Happy birthday.
Bring on the dancing girl with the guitar.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's it.
Frank.
Happy
Frank,
birthday,
I will
Nollaig.
kill you. Happy birthday.
Poor Richard, I
Is
hope he
it
doesn't
today
see that.
or just
Tell
Christmas generally?
them the
Kathleen,
date, Nollaig.
I shared with Kathleen
Oh, you share it with Kathleen, do you? Oh God, we'll have to get Kathleen into it next year. What I thought you were,
Yeah,
what
you
I
see the
thought,
way they ignored me, Nollaig. I was
but you
completely
didn't get
ignored.
christened the right name, Kathleen. You should have
I said happy birthday to you.
get up about that.
I
No,
didn't,
but
I didn't.
in this presentation.
All right, your birthday was ignored, but not you personally.
We'll
No,
rectify it. We'll rectify it next year, Kathleen. But be assured.
All is
Will you
forgiven.
tell Richard Nollaig that I'm getting great value out of that chocolate cake? I think that's the third year in a row now that we've had the same chocolate cake with the candles on it. So it's lasting well.
It's
And
a
hopefully-
He'll be happy
cake.
to hear that, Frank.
Yeah. Another highlight of the year for me, anyway, was Mary Hudson. Mary, who stepped up to the plate to present many of our sessions and has become very, very competent with it altogether. And not only that, but she's now adapting to new technology and everything else and writing much more. So here is a story by Mary, which I'd ask you to read yourself, Mary, and it's called The Turkeys by Mary Hudson.
Thanks very much, Frank. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. The turkeys. My mother took immense pride in her flock of turkeys. They were hard reared, she would say. At the beginning of spring, she would set off the 5 miles on her rally bike with her clucking turkey hen in a cardboard box, its beak and tail protruding. This memory is particularly vivid as she set off down the lane from our house on this delicate and important journey. We were particularly intrigued as we were not told why the turkey hen was going for a spin on Mother's bike. Why was this turkey hen so special and going on a special trip? Sometime later, the turkey hen hatched out her baby turkeys. It was an exciting time in our house. We watched as the baby birds broke through their shells and tumbled out, their feathers wet, and they were very unsteady on their feet. These baby turkeys were treated with great care, brought into our house and either placed in an incubator, a little box with straw and a red lamp for heat, assembled in the back kitchen, or if they were particularly delicate, they were placed in the old USA biscuit tin under the range for extra heat. They were fed scrambled eggs initially, and when they were stronger, special baby turkey food. They stayed in the home place until they were strong enough to move out of the incubator and into bigger pens in the outside turkey house, which was kept warm, clean, and only housed the turkeys. They finally grew stronger, with white, majestic feathers, their necks held high. The turkey hens trotted around making little fuss, while the turkey cocks, with their long necks and distinctive turkey combs, made their presence known with their loud chuckling sound, dominating the farmyard. The hens and chickens gave right of way around the farmyard to these majestic birds. The flock of 24 turkeys were well treated and cared for, maintaining their dominant position in the farmyard. They were fed twice a day and admired by the neighbours. Mother had a profound sense of pride in her turkeys. There was an unspoken, unwritten competition between the women of the neighbourhood regarding who had the best flock of turkeys. Indeed, it was a profound sense of pride if you successfully reared a flock that had a few 30-pounders in weight in time for Christmas. Most years, Mother had many 30-pound turkeys to discuss with pride with her neighbours. These birds served many purposes. They were sold to help fund Santa and Christmas treats for the family, with the biggest one roasted for the family Christmas dinner. I also remember with happiness and expectation that Christmas was imminent when the ritual began of preparing the turkeys for posting to relatives in the UK, for their Christmas dinner. This preparation started a week or two before Christmas. Slaying, the turkeys were posted, the turkeys for posting were identified, fasted, slain, and plucked skillfully by our parents without breaking the skin of any of the birds. They were then hung in the hallway for a day before getting them ready for posting. A sturdy cardboard box was sourced, lined with newspaper. Then the birds, carefully wrapped in greaseproof paper and brown paper, were placed in the box, covered with strong brown paper, secured on all sides with sellotape, and then tied with strong twine, the knots sealed with red melted wax. My mother would write the addresses, including the all-important postcodes of the recipients, many times on the boxes. Then it was labelled with the sender's address. In all, 4 boxes would have been posted to the UK, with the Christmas turkeys and a few treats added to the parcel in preparing. If you're in the parcel for the families. Sorry. Our father took immense pride in preparing those boxes, and my mother was always anxious to get these parcels posted in time to avoid any Christmas delays. This exciting part of Christmas preparations ceased when the UK had an unexpected postal strike. On that Christmas, all the turkey boxes arrived in the new year, with untold damage to the enclosed birds, subsequently spoiling Christmas. This upset my parents, and they no longer posted the turkeys abroad. However, my mother continued for many years to rear her great flock of turkeys for her large family and friends, all of whom received an oven-prepared turkey at Christmas. We look back on this time
with very fond memories of the special place the turkeys commanded leading up to and including Christmas.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.
Thanks.
Lovely, Mary.
Thanks, Granny.
Lovely memories. Do they still do that now? Anne Murray, you might be able to answer the
I
question.
remember in Christmas in the 60s, people would post the turkeys, but they weren't wrapped up in cardboard boxes. They were in linen or cotton bags with the claws sticking out. You'd catch them by the claws, throw them up on the scales, weigh them, stick the stamps on the cotton bags. And then in our post office, which was a very modern post office, we had underfloor heating. And they'd be thrown in on the floor then with all the other parcels. And I'm sure with the underfloor heating, they were nearly cooked by the time they got.
Not just oven ready.
And then you get salmon the same way. Salmon used to be posted in there's the covers in leaves. I don't know what kind of leaves were the in green leaves, and they'd be just wound up with twine and leaves and an address put on them. Sure, I'm sure they were rotten as well.
Particularly poignant and good song for this time of year. So Bill and Judy together singing Manhattan Christmas Magic.
Magic of this time of year is like a precious souvenir. Tales unfold in every park, windows, pictures in light, in dark. On Fifth Avenue, festive shoppers spending lots and lots of dollars. Yellow cabs, carriage rides, on its magic stage collide. It's Manhattan Christmas magic that tears at your heartstrings, and Manhattan Christmas magic that shares the love it brings. Rockefeller's dazzling tree fills your heart with joyful glee as you skate around the rink, vying to rotate and sync. Later on, Rockette's enchanting with refined precision tapping. All muffed up, we walk the High Line under twinkling New York skyline. It's Manhattan Christmas magic that tears at your heartstrings, and Manhattan Christmas magic that shares the love it brings. At St. Pat's, a Christmas prayer, candlelit for all who care. Then listen to the carol singers, while giving to the saints and sinners. Central Park, a white-haired grandee, happily singing "Help Our Pantry." Smile at Grinches, join the queues. Not a time to booze or snooze. Don't be dark and don't be dreary, it will only make God weary. Don't be sad, don't be greedy, just be kind and feed the needy. It's Manhattan Christmas magic that tears at your heartstrings, and Manhattan Christmas magic that shares the love it brings. It's Manhattan Christmas magic that tears at your heartstrings, and Manhattan Christmas magic that shares the love it brings. It's Manhattan Christmas magic. It's Manhattan Christmas magic. It's Manhattan Christmas magic. It's Manhattan Christmas magic. Yes, it's Manhattan Christmas magic. It's Manhattan Christmas magic. It's Manhattan Christmas magic that shares the love it brings.
Okay, this is The Magic of Believing, Conor's Journey by Mary Rose Tobin.
Can you make it a bit smaller, Frank?
Smaller indeed. It's not often you're asked that. Hold on. Say when.
Okay.
There?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. The Magic of Believing, Conor's Journey. It was the first day of the Christmas holidays. Conor, a lively 12-year-old with a head full of tangled curls, was playing football with his friends on the green outside their house. Their roars and shrieks could be heard from a mile away. In the middle of the game, Conor felt something odd in his mouth. He reached in and pulled out his loose tooth. Holding it triumphantly, he yelled, "Yay, €2!" The other boys, a mix of ages but all older than him, exchanged glances before bursting into laughter. €2 for a tooth? One boy, Sean, said between chuckles. You're not serious, are you? Conor nodded enthusiastically. Yay! The tooth fairy always leaves €2 under my pillow. The laughter intensified, and a few of the boys started to jeer. Conor still believes in the tooth fairy, shouted another boy, Liam, his voice laced with mockery. Grow up, Conor, Sean added, shaking his head. There's no such thing as a tooth fairy. That's just a story for babies. Their words hit Conor like a cold wave. His joy turned to embarrassment and hurt. He ran home, tears streaming down his face, feeling the sting of their ridicule. Bursting into the kitchen, he found his mum. She was on one of her rare days off from the hospital. They happened less and less often since Dad left. She looked up from unloading the dishwasher. Mum, Conor shouted, his voice shaking. You lied to me. She turned, surprised by his outburst. Seeing his tearful eyes and the tooth in his hand, she looked puzzled. What do you mean, Conor? She asked gently. He confronted her, his hands trembling. And that letter, you wrote it, didn't you? He was referring to a letter she had left under his pillow once, pretending to be from the tooth fairy, chiding him for not brushing his teeth enough. Mum knelt down, trying to meet his eye. Yes, Conor, I wrote the letter. And there's no tooth fairy, she admitted, her voice filled with regret. Why did you lie to me? He demanded. She tried to explain, her voice quivering. It wasn't a lie, love. It was a bit of magic, a story to make childhood more special. But I believed in it. You made me look stupid. Conor wiped his eyes, feeling angry and foolish. I'm sorry, Conor. I never meant to make you look stupid, she said, her eyes brimming with tears. He whispered, barely audible, I wish you hadn't. She watched him struggle with a dawning realization. His emotions boiled over. I suppose next you'll tell me you're Santa too. Mum's heart sank further. Oh, Conor, she began softly. Santa Claus is a wonderful story, a beautiful tradition, but he's not real, not in the way you think. Not real, Conor repeated, his world upending. What are you saying? No Dad, no tooth fairy, and no Santa? Parents tell these stories to make Christmas special, but it's really us. We put the presents under the tree, she explained. So all of it, the whiskey and Christmas cake, the carrot, it's all just a lie? He asked, struggling now. No, not a lie, she insisted gently. It's a story we share, a way to celebrate the spirit of giving and love. Why didn't you just tell me? He asked, not knowing whether to be sad or angry. We wanted to give you the joy of believing in something magical, she said softly. Mum, it's not just about believing in Santa, it's about trusting what you say, Conor, near to tears, replied. I'm so sorry, Conor. I never wanted to hurt you or betray your trust. I suppose I'll just have to grow up then, he shouted. Conor stormed out of the kitchen, slamming the door behind him. He could sense Mum's heartbreak in the silence that followed. He pounded up the stairs, his emotions raw and overwhelming. He banged around his room in a storm of anger and disappointment. Then he came back down, holding a PlayStation console. This never worked properly, he yelled at Mum. You said we couldn't send it back to the North Pole. Now you can just go and exchange it for one that works. Mum, trying to stay calm, replied, I can try to fix it, Conor, or we can see about getting it exchanged. You said Santa's elves made it, but they didn't, did they? It's just a broken game from a shop. His voice was thick with anger and betrayal. I'm sorry, Conor. I know this is hard for you. I really meant to get you another one, but there's been so much going on, she said, her own emotions swirling. He looked at the console, then back at her. He placed the console on the kitchen table, his shoulders slumping. He felt awful for shouting. He knew she was just as upset as he was. He knew she had to work so hard to keep everything together for him and his brothers. I just want things to be the way they used to be, Mum, Conor said quietly. Later, Mum asked him to go for a walk with her. If you want to talk about that Santa stuff, forget it. I'm okay now, he said. Mum sighed, looking into his upset eyes. Still, we need to talk, she insisted. As they strolled towards the green, Mum began. Conor, when you asked, are you Santa? That was a good question, and the answer is no, I'm not Santa. There isn't just a single Santa. Conor listened, the crisp air around them seeming to stand still. I fill your stockings with presents and wrap the gifts under the tree, just like my mum did for me and her mum before her, she continued. And yes, your dad used to be part of it too when he was here. The path between their feet crunched with every step. One day you might do the same for your children, and you love seeing their joy on Christmas morning, but doing it doesn't make you Santa. Mum paused. Santa is more than one single person. He's a team of people, mums and dads all over the world. Santa's work is about teaching children to believe in something they can't see or touch. It's a big, important job. Her words hung in the air, confusing Conor. They walked in silence for a bit, the sounds of the neighbourhood distant and muffled. Now you know Santa's secret. When we are young, he fills our hearts with joy. As we get older, we help him carry on the tradition. People like your dad and me, and now you. Mum looked at him, her eyes full of love. We're on Santa's team, Conor. We help with this impossible job. Santa is love and magic. He's hope and happiness. Conor felt a lump in his throat as her words sank in. So no, I'm not Santa, Mum concluded, but I'm part of what he represents. And now, so are you. After a pause, Mum spoke again. Conor, I have a big job for you tomorrow. Will you come in to work with me? What for? Conor asked. We're having a Christmas party for the children on the ward. We have presents for all of them, Mum explained with a hopeful smile. Santa is coming to visit, and I'd love you to be his helper. His expression changed from curiosity to surprise. Me helping Santa? Yes, you, Mum said warmly. These kids need the spirit of Santa more than most of us. They could do with some hope and joy. What would I need to do? Conor inquired. Dress up, help hand out presents, talk to the kids a bit, make them smile, Mum said. Bring a little bit of happiness to the ones who might be feeling sad. I suppose that's what Santa's really about, isn't it? Making people happy. Mum smiled. Exactly, Conor. And by being there, by giving some of your time and care, you're keeping Santa's work going. You're keeping hope alive for the sick children. Conor stood a bit taller. Okay, Mum, I'll do it. I'll be Santa's helper. Mum reached out, squeezing his hand gently. I'm proud of you, Conor. You're going to make those children very happy.
It's really lovely, Mary Rose. Really nice.
Lovely story.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
Wise woman.
I loved the ending.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a nice way to explain when the children realise there's no Santa. Yeah, it's really lovely.
It's a bit like Anne Murray's, really.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's really lovely. Yeah.
Lovely.
But that exactly is what it's all about. That exactly is it.
Yeah. True, Kurt.
Okay, we're moving. Lovely story, Mary Rose. We're moving on.
Thanks, Mary Rose. Lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry, James, did you want to say something, James?
I just said, well done, Mary Rose. It's very well crafted and it's a lovely story for Christmas.
My gift to you.
Thank you.